Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. We have Bitcoin falling right now, and I want to talk about what is happening. What is causing that? I have been through multiple bull cycles. I've been in cryptocurrency since 2017, and it is not untraditional for the cryptocurrency markets to drop 10-15% and then bounce and look for continuation moving forward. And so I want to go over that and explain reasonings why that could potentially be happening and what I am looking for moving forward. And so let's go ahead and jump right into the video. If you enjoy this content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the chart here. We can see Bitcoin currently trading at $65,600. Now, we are down from the all-time high around $73,600. And so that is roughly a 10% drop, and we could be looking at a bounce here. And so this is an indicator that I personally use, HGAlgo here, and we can see that since end of December, we have been getting bullish momentum indicators here. And so these have all been accurate. They've all been picking up the dips here, continuing to provide information that we are seeing bullish momentum moving forward. We can see even if you bought at this bullish momentum here, the last signal, even around $40,000, you would be up almost 80%. And so this indicator is very helpful. You can apply this to different cryptocurrencies. You can use this on Solana. You can use it on Chainlink. And so even in the bear market here, we started getting bearish momentum signals, right? And so this was identifying that we're going to continue to go down. And then we got down to these bearish momentum signals at the end of last year in August, September. And then we did make that transition right here, right? And so this was the absolute best time to buy altcoins, to buy Bitcoin, right? This is the lowest price. However, if you were not able to accumulate there, right, it gave us many other opportunities here, right? And every time that I identified bullish momentum was a bottom of that local area. Again, we went all the way up to $48,000, dropped down to $40,000, and then we saw a bullish momentum indicator there. And so this is a very powerful tool. If you're interested in signing up for this, there is a link underneath the video for HGAlgo. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is causing the drop with Bitcoin here. And so I believe that most of this is tied to the liquidations of long leveraged positions. So we can see here right now, we're still at the area where we could continue to see more long positions continue to be liquidated, potentially getting down to that area of $64,000, which would liquidate about another $500,000 of Bitcoin longs. So that's definitely what is causing this. We're also seeing people take profits, right? People have been holding on to Bitcoin for more than 3 years, and now they have made substantial gains since that. And they are taking profits at the all-time high. Like I mentioned before, this is not uncommon to see. We're going to see 10 to 15% dips, and then we will see continuation with Bitcoin. And there's many reasons for that I want to go over to show you here. So the first one is that JP Morgan stated that Bitcoin has overtaken gold in the investor portfolio allocation. So Bitcoin's allocation in investor portfolios has reached 3.7 times that of gold when adjusted for volatility, according to JP Morgan analyst. And so we're starting to see a lot more interest in Bitcoin. Jamie Dimon, who has always been against Bitcoin, stated that he will be supporting Bitcoin. If you want to buy Bitcoin, he will be there to support it. However, right now he's personally not planning on owning any, but we're starting to see people transition from being totally against Bitcoin to being for it. And so in addition to this, we also have the largest daily inflows of the spot Bitcoin ETF peaking at over $1 billion on March 12th. And so we're going to be digging deeper into that. However, once the outflows from the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust ETF stop, we will start seeing an exponential increase in the price. So in addition to that, we also have the Bitcoin halving coming up in less than 30 days, which could fuel the demand further and lead to a supply crisis within the next 6 months. So this is something I don't think people really understand, is we're going to have a supply crunch coming up in the next 6 to 12 months that's going to drive the price of Bitcoin up substantially. And so I want to talk about that here quickly. We have the Bitcoin halving coming up in 33 days, roughly. And right now, one block produces 6.25 Bitcoin when mining. That block is going to be reducing to 6.125 Bitcoin per block in 33 days. So at that rate today, 900 Bitcoin are mined per day. However, when the halving comes, we're going to only see 450 Bitcoin being mined. So that's going to reduce the amount of Bitcoin that is being produced. And so that's less Bitcoin for people to buy. And so if we look at some data here from the Bitcoin ETF, we can see, as I mentioned, that the biggest inflow was on March 12th, right? Over $1 billion of Bitcoin was purchased. And so BlackRock's ETF alone bought $849.3 million worth, or almost 12,000 Bitcoin in one day. And so as I mentioned, 900 Bitcoin are mined per day today. So they roughly bought 15 days worth of mined Bitcoin. However, when the Bitcoin halving comes, we're going to see that cut in half. And so there's only going to be 450 Bitcoin mined per day. And so instead of buying 15 days worth of Bitcoin, this would be almost 30 days of Bitcoin being mined. Now, obviously, this does not take into account people selling and then BlackRock buying. However, as we continue to reduce that supply, and with an increase in demand, we're going to see the price go up. And so I think this chart here explains this very well. And so they have extrapolated this data here from BitMEX. And so we can see over the last 2 months since the ETF was initiated, we can see that the inflows have been exponential. And so we can see this has been continuing to increase. Now, if we extrapolate that in a linear area, assuming that this is going to continue to increase, we're going to see a lot of Bitcoin being held by BlackRock and these ETFs. Now, as I mentioned, the supply of new Bitcoin being mined is going to remain relatively low. It's going to go from 900 Bitcoin per day to 450 Bitcoin per day, which is going to increase the supply because demand is continuing to increase. We're going to start seeing institutions start wanting to sell Bitcoin into retirement funds. People are going to be buying Bitcoin in the retirement fund without even knowing it. Maybe they're buying 3% Bitcoin, 97% stocks or bonds, right? But I believe that Bitcoin is going to start being added to these funds. People are going to want to buy Bitcoin. They're going to be asking their financial advisor about cryptocurrencies and buying them through these ETFs. And so this is going to continue to increase the demand for cryptocurrencies moving forward. And so in addition to this, we also have people that are not going to sell their Bitcoin. So 45% of Bitcoin has not moved in more than 3 years. We have Michael Saylor saying that he's never going to sell a Bitcoin. He is still accumulating Bitcoin as well. He's buying it above $70,000 just last week. He still made a purchase to accumulate more. And so that's something to keep in mind. We also have the government that owns 1% of Bitcoin as well. Maybe they don't plan on selling either. And so there's going to be people that are just holding on to Bitcoin as well. And then, like I said here, 45% of the people are not selling. So maybe, 15% of the people will plan to sell. Maybe the other 30% plan on holding for 5, 10, 15 years. And so that's going to create more of a supply shock for Bitcoin as well, as the supply of new mined Bitcoin continues to decrease with the Bitcoin halving coming up, going from 900 Bitcoin being produced per day to 450 Bitcoin per day being produced by miners. And so it's definitely something to keep in mind. As Bitcoin's dropping, right, this may be an opportunity to get into a position lower, right? I don't recommend just going all in. You can definitely dollar cost average into these positions, as I think that is the best way moving forward. That is what I've personally been doing over the last 2 to 3 years, is just dollar cost averaging into positions that I think could do very well. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for future content. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.